May, it's week 20, and as you can see, winter's on its way here in Cape Town. We've had 3 or 4 magnificent weeks here in Cape Town, but definitely the cold front's starting to come in and the winter rains are starting to come in. And amazingly enough, this for me sums up what this week was all about, because it was a very bittersweet week. I mean, I was in Johannesburg, I came back from Wealth Creators University from Shumbas, and I came back really early on Monday morning. I had my first client meeting. I was stuck in traffic halfway through Midrand, and the client phoned and cancelled, and then subsequently the client in the afternoon also phoned and cancelled. So I'd stayed in Johannesburg for the whole day to meet clients, and both of them were cancelled, and I think everyone was just getting in that holiday mode. But you know, when you're a salesman, it really affects your energy, and you're really disappointed by the whole thing. And you know, just it's been such a difficult year where to get that momentum going, you're constantly trying to keep the attitude positive, but then you have these frustrating times where you know, clients cancel. And I actually had another client that bought 2 properties through us that was a done deal, and subsequently his commercial property, he thought it was a done deal, but the guy who put the guarantees in actually didn't come up with the guarantees, and so those 2 deals fell through. So it's been a hell of a disappointing period, and you know, one where one constantly has to work on one's attitude to stay positive, really. And that brought me on to my second thing. I went to see my life coach on Monday, and she actually said to me, Scott, you're really at the point of burnout. You've got adrenal burnout, and you have to take the Easter period off and take a holiday, basically. And she actually said to me the rules were I wasn't allowed to read any business books, I was not allowed to look at my cell phone, my laptop, or anything, and I really needed to have a week. And you know, something she said to me, for 7 or 8 years I've basically hidden myself behind my work, behind my company, behind my job, if you want to call it that, and I've forgotten how to have fun. And I really, you know, at the end of the day had to learn. I've got a week or so here in Cape Town, and it's time to learn how to have fun again. But what a beautiful playground to be able to actually do that in. The real highlight of this week was that on Tuesday I actually paid the money to Tony Robbins. Now you must understand, since January last year I've been pursuing Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes and building a business relationship with them, and another guy by the name of Mitch, and it really has been 14 or 15 months of perseverance. I've been told no many times. There have been many uphill challenges, and even then when push came to shove, they finally agreed. But then they said, finally pay 163,000 Rand. And you know, I've sold one of my properties so that I could get access to the money to be able to make the payment. But then, because the sales haven't been coming through, it was a very tight period, and I must admit it really caused a nauseous feeling within me. But like anything in life, if you stay positive and stick to the task, I made the sales, the money was in the bank, and I made that payment to Tony Robbins. We're now officially partners, and I'm the very first person globally that has taken the partnership with regards to the Ultimate Business Mastery System. So it's a real honor. They've done it nowhere else in the world, and I get to be the first one, which is fantastic. And I think it's fantastic for South Africa and Africa, because we're going to take that knowledge and we're going to put it through. But hopefully it's just a lesson to you on what can be achieved when you have perseverance, dedication, and you will not take no for an answer, because you do ultimately achieve what you want to achieve in life. And I think that's great. From the W Sales course, we also had our first consultancy, who was a developer. We sat with him for about an hour and a half. And the other thing that was exciting for me was he was in Johannesburg, I was in in Cape Town, and using all the latest technology with Skype and GoToMeetings, we were sharing screens. We had a completely virtual meeting, and yeah, there were a few glitches and everything else, but what a fantastic experience. He's in Johannesburg, I'm in Cape Town, sitting here, you know, even though it's raining now, but still listen to the waves. Look at this beautiful scenery with the waves and the sun setting behind me. I get to work in this environment. I don't have to necessarily travel to Johannesburg anymore. So what could you do? You know, how could you work, and where could you work from with the new technology that's available? And then the final thing, which was probably the proudest moment for the week, no, actually I lie completely. Tony Robbins was the proudest thing. That was 16 months of perseverance. But from a physical perspective, I put it out there, and I went out to do the 2 oceans. It's 56 kilometers. You had to finish within 7 hours, and it all went according to plan. I finished with 6 hours 53, so only 7 minutes to spare. And a lot of people laugh at me about that, but that was the plan. The plan was to finish just within the 7 hours. It is a training run for comrades, but again, it's a complete metaphor for persistence, getting through, and most importantly, having the mind power and the belief, and knowing that you'll get to the end, and just sticking with the plan. So as the heavens have just opened here in Cape Town, I want to come. That's my week. It's time to have a lovely holiday and a lovely break. It's been a very frustrating week, but also a fantastic week, and finishing on a huge high with both Tony Robbins and with getting the 2 oceans under my belt. So what could you do, ladies and gentlemen? How could you stretch yourself? What could you do to achieve and get yourself to another level. Whether it's running the 2 oceans or setting yourself a major goal and going out, and even if it takes you 16 months to achieve it, go and do it. I got to get out of here. You can see the rain is coming in. So from a rainy, wet Cape Town, cheers.